Hello everyone. So I'm making this video today. Uh, installing. It's about installing gutter guard uh, or gutter filter by Merrimax, and it's pretty easy, very easy. I've been doing it for the last two days, pretty much. It's very simple install. All you have to do, like, buy this Merrimax gutter filter guards. It has a mesh net on top, and the bottom part is diamond shaped, and has a locking mechanism on the side, as you see. So it locks up to your gutter just like that. In this part, most of the time, most new gutters has the edge is, like, triangle shape, so all you have to do is squeeze it a little bit to make it a little flat to slide this in. Without that, like, it will not slide in, because like it's kind of like triangle shape on this corner on the inside. So like this filter guard will not lock. Another thing, very important, before you do this, you clean the gutter. uh, Make sure there's no seeds, no leaves in there. But a little bit, if you can power wash it, that's gonna be awesome, for long term. Like, you don't have to worry about it. But like, with this net, the dust will get in there, so it'll build up just like that. Previously I had some gutter installed, uh, so we took this off. It was net, just like a mesh net, like a metal one. And I had a problem, like all the seeds and, like, needles get in there, and seeds will grow over time. You'll see a bunch of trees laying down, and it will clog the gutter. And the shingle dust, it will get in there and it will build up. So this is really cheap, and it's a DIY project. You can do it, and it's gonna save your, like, a lot of hassle, a lot of money as well, and the time as well. um, I call a gutter company to install this. They give me an estimate for 3,000. You're not gonna believe this, but I just invest 2 days of my life. I don't want to do it, like, all in one day and get, like, pretty much burned out, or like get in the sun for a long time. So I split it, like, 6 hour a day, one side 6 hour, and it's like proper installation, and it's gonna save you a lot of money. You're not gonna believe that. Those gutter guys are scam. Pretty much, they are taking advantage of people who don't do it, or like don't have the time. Uh, I kind of figure, like, if I invest 2 days of my life and I can get this done, and it's gonna save me a lot of money and a hassle, and I know exactly, like, what I put in there, and I'll be, like, kind of peace of mind. My roof is almost 10-year old. It's not that bad. I faced a challenge in here. So, like, whoever the roofer was, like, when I bought the house, they had a brand new roof. It's been 10 years. But when they install it, they did one great thing. They actually put a seal in between that, like, the edge and the shingle. They put a glue, so it actually sticks together pretty well. It will not flap, when the heavy wind. So the challenge was, like, when I was trying to do it, and this piece would not slide underneath the shingle. That was the big challenge. And I tried to do it on that corner. You see, like, some of them are out, but I kind of figured out, like, if I have a pry tool like that, or like, one of those drywall uh, mesh, or, I mean, whatever you call this, like, little spatula, the metal spatula. So all you have to do, pry this gently and push it a little bit. Loosen this little bit of glue, so it will open up a little space. You don't want to just, like, pry it all the way, because it will open up the shingle in the end, and I don't want to do this. I don't want to damage the corner of the roof. So all I did is, like, use this tool, pry it a little, like, and I'll show you gently. All you have to do is push it, and it'll loosen a little bit of glue. You don't want to take all the glue off. A little bit of glue, and open up enough space to just slide this in. So if I open up this much, that's like a half of your net is sliding inside. That's all you need. So half of it, I just pushed it, open up a little bit of glue, just so I can slide this inside, as you see. And when I'm done, and I'll show you it's how easy is this. So all you have to do, I'm gonna use one hand. I have to cut this corner to give a little bit of inch on top, overlap it, so it's not gonna be just like if it's like, you know, if you install it just like this, over time this piece will probably like get heavy, or it will pop back and forth, and it'll create a gap. So instead of leaving this gap and you know, like get all this, like, you know, debris get into that drain, so we're gonna do like just maybe half an inch just to cover that gap on that. So all I have to do is slide it in, cut this corner. I'll show you in a second. Let me cut it and then I'll come over. So I'm using my drill bit to hold this phone, I mean like drill machine, so I can cut it. While I cut it, you guys can see it. So I'm taking this out. As I told you, I'm gonna cut this corner like half an inch, open it up, and I'm using like this metal sheet cutter scissor or cutter, so it's gonna be easy instead of like using regular scissor. Some people says, oh yeah, this will work. This type of scissor will work. I mean, it just like really hard to cut it. You have to create a lot of pressure. So I'm using this metal. If you have it home, like, use this instead of like regular scissor. So I'm cutting this corner like a half inch or an inch. It depends how you want to leave it, like, you know, how much overlap you want to leave it. So more overlap you leave it, it's gonna be strong, but like, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So you're gonna use a lot of netting. So I cut it. So I open it up. I'm using a little plier to bend this, twist it back and forth. It'll crack it because it's like, you know, it's plastic material like a vinyl, so vinyl will like twist and break easily. So all I have to do, so this piece, it's like in an inch gap or a half inch gap. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. So I'm leaving this 1 inch or half inch gap slide, and I'm gonna slide this right underneath the shingle very gently, because I don't wanna pull my roof on the corner and realize, oh, I just pulled the shingle, and that's not good. So all you have to do is slide this in. Sorry, I'm one man, so I don't have any cameraman to do this video, so gently, sometimes you just have to push it a little. So almost in there, just have to push it. Since my roof is pretty good shape, I don't want to open up the shingle too much, so I'm gonna slide this in a little bit more. If it doesn't go, like, that means one of the edge is probably not this piece right here. Make sure they're all in there. So this part is pretty good. So we're gonna slide this a little bit inside, and this piece has to, there we go. So it's click and lock. So first we're gonna slide it just to align it up. So as you see, now I'm gonna push it, close this gap, and bring it, lock this to the gutter corner, and pull it. Voila, it's ready. So I guess instead of cleaning like the gutter 3-4 times a year, we're in Virginia, so I have a lot of tree around the house. As you see, it's there's 2 trees up top of the roof, uh, so it sheds a lot of leaves, and it will get in there, especially maple trees. And maple trees has the flower and those leaves. It gets in there and like clog it easily, um, and it gets really nasty and it get clogged. And I mean, I'm tired of like cleaning this gutter uh, 4 times, 5 times a season. I mean, like, it depends on how much leaves you have, but like I have a lot of leaves here. Plus, my neighbors has big trees, so wind will blow and like bring it here. It builds up. So another thing I wanted to point it out when you do this, make sure this part of the gutter, like you see, I mean, it's not even like more than 10 years old. Uh, it just like opens up a little. So like whatever happens is like when the water gets in there, it slightly drip, and like it'll come to this edge, and just like usually this edge, like this piece supposed to just bring the water back to the drain, but since it's open, the water will just get into that, and you see the drips. I was cleaning the gutter earlier, like just water spray, and you will see the water will like running through this. So all I have to do is I brought this self drilling screw. It's a outdoor work, or like it's a 1/4 inch screw. All you have to do, like since it's a self drill, all you have to do, just put it in the bit and hold it and close this gap, so the water will not just like slide through this gap. If this video, and like also make sure when you clean the gutter, make sure like you put a hose in there and run water a little bit, so that way you will make sure like your gutter lines, like the drains, are like all the way clean, so you don't have to worry about it getting clogged out later, and like you have to pull all of this out. uh, just a lot of work. So all you have to do when you do buy this Merrimax, and they're only like $60 or 70 per piece, is 3 feet per piece. um, I estimated my roof, all I need is like 110 feet all the way from this side, that side, and like the garage side. So 110 feet actually cost me about $50, $55 with the screw. Like say I bought a box of screw there like $5, and I bought $50 like this Amerimax the drain, like gutter drain net, so like filter. And it's very simple and easy. As you see, I have done already all the way back there, but before I was using this tool, I couldn't get into that, like inside this. So I left it there. I put some screw. I think that's a bad idea. I shouldn't like leave it floated. Uh, Usually it's supposed to be like this, all the slides in. But I have left the other corner. It was like I couldn't get inside more to the roof, so I left it like that. And this is not really good. It's gonna drip water, because like, do you see the diamond holes? It's eventually it's gonna like the water will like leak it through, and it will overrun this, and we don't want this to happen. So it's better to use this tool as a pry. Just pry it up a little bit and slide that inside. Make sure like you don't want to lift your roof all shingle all the way up, you know that'll be a bad idea. Also, I find another thing interesting. Over time, I don't know, like if your house is pretty old or decently old, sometimes construction crews, like, they make mistakes. They put like some kind of screw, pull it out. If this is the wrong screw, like sometimes they'll leave it there, but like I think I have to have two of these hole, which is like one of the screw, or like big screw was there, and they pulled it off, and it actually shows up a little bit of like wood, and over time the water gets in there and start rotting. So all I have to do is like buy one of this waterproof ceiling. It's like It's a waterproof. Let me show you actually. It's made by GE. It's for window door, attic trim, and flashing. Sun-proof, freeze-proof, flexible, and waterproof. Those are, and this is also mold-free. Uh, and you can apply and wet or wet to dry surfaces, which is really good. You know, if you're doing like quick work, 2 days job, and you're cleaning the gutter is still wet, you don't have to worry about like this sealant will not come off or like not freeze. So all I have to do like cut the head off, and I'm gonna fill this up, fill this little gap right there, so in the future it's not gonna get rotten, like so I'm gonna fill this up just to close this for now. I don't know what, I cannot just open it up, pull it out and open it up and just fix it. You know, that's gonna be a lot of work. If you're doing some quick work, just fill this up, and that's pretty much it, guys. If you think like this video is very helpful for you guys, give me a thumbs up, like and share. If you have any question, make sure you comment it below, like put your question. I'll try to answer it like as fast as possible. I am not like very professional. I'm just a basic handyman. I know a little work, but like for my experience, Amerimax, thumbs up. Like this video is not sponsored by Amerimax. Just wanted to clarify, I'm not responsible for anybody's decision, but I'm just posting this video. I thought it was helpful for me, so I can help other people if they're interested in using this Amerimax. Alright guys, take it easy. See you next time.